All right, it's Tuesday.
It is, yes. And today we're going to be going through, well, just building benches. So, not sure whether you've thought on ways on how you can do it, and so we just thought we would show you how we do it on the cheap. So, it's always nice to save some money. So, so we'll just go over here and show you. So all we really do is we just build our benches on Besser blocks. So we're not really actually building them, but we just use pallets. So they're pretty cheap. Actually, they're free if you find it the right place. So you can get them almost anywhere really. So from good places like freight companies are usually happy for people to just come and take them away. So always good to ask the business if it's okay if you can have the pallets for nothing. So just in case they
Some of them recycle them.
yeah, some of them. So you've got like blue, like really like blue ones. Some they pay money for, so you can't take them for nothing. But there's a lot of like ones you can just take, which is really cool. And then Besser blocks, well, you can get them from any like landscape supplier. Some garden centers will have it as well, so they don't cost a lot of money, and they last a long time. And they have many different uses as well. So we just use it for building our benches. So you can see we've just started building our benches in this greenhouse that we just finished finally. We're just waiting for more weed mat so that we can cover the dirt. But yeah, so what we're trying to achieve here, and I probably should have done it when we had the pad done, is pretty well have it level. We had it at a slight slope so that if water does get in here, that it can run away and not just kind of sit on the pad. So probably a bit of a boo-boo there, because as you see here, so what we're trying to do here is to try and be more efficient with our water usage, especially if we're going, we go through another drought one day, is to bottom water. So instead of, you're going to save a lot more water with bottom watering as opposed to overhead, because it just goes all over the paths. It's mainly if you've got automatic systems. So if you're doing it by hand, it's not too bad. You don't have as much wastage. So all we've done then is we've just run a string line all the way about halfway there, and that's pretty much where the top of the benches need to be for it to be level. So you can see that we've actually started the benches pretty low, which down that end there we may get sore backs later on from bending all the way down. But then when we come to the middle, it'll be at a perfect height. So we'll have to end up, if we keep that going all the way to the other end, it's going to get pretty high. So we'll just do like a step down, which will be fine. So, but yeah, that's all it is really.
So all your other greenhouses are just overhead watering, and so you're trying something new with this one, is that right?
Well, our very first one is overhead watered, and we use when you're watering in spring and summer, a couple times a week, we are using a fair bit of water.
And when your 2-year-old just splashes it everywhere.
Yeah, it just has a bit of fun, wants to play with it, which is fine. So we're trying to be more, aware of the usage of the water. So I mean, it's great that we already do succulents because they don't, we're not pumping a lot of water into them like produce plants. So it is good, but still we want to be aware of how much we're using. So we thought, why not try bottom watering? That way, yeah, we can save water. We can direct that water once we drain them from those benches. We can either put in like a little pit close to where our tanks are, and then put a pump in there and pump out there. So you can still recycle that water and keep using it, as opposed to just letting it spray everywhere. But yeah, I'm starting to lose my train of thought.
We're talking about pallets.
Yeah,
Pallet benches,
so,
that's it.
Yeah, so sorry, talking about irrigation. So yeah, so Besser blocks, they're only a few dollars each, from where, from a local landscape supplier or hardware store or something like that. Pallets are, yeah, as I said before, they're pretty much free. Just ask the business that if you see a big stack of them, if you can take them. A lot of the people are happy, as I said before, otherwise they have to pay to get rid of it. So I know around here a lot of people are happy for us to just come and take them, which is cool.
So there's all these holes on the top though, so you normally just stick them in trays on top so they don't fall through the gaps.
Yeah, we do, but because of our style of irrigation, we'll put something like that'll cover the hole at the top, and then we'll layer it with plastic so it'll hold water, and then we'll put weed mat on the top, so that way when we're moving plants or trays around, it doesn't scratch or rip the plastic, and then the water drains out. But yeah, like you can use like planks of timber, like you can use retaining wall sleepers, all that sort of thing to build your benches. You can keep stacking up Besser blocks and do that. You can just go and grab, I don't know, some big bush rocks if you want. Put them there if it's they're fairly stable, and then put a pallet on top of that if you didn't want to go with the Besser blocks. There's many different ways of doing that that are, you know, quite affordable instead of having to buy the metal plant stands, which can you know, some you can get for a couple $100, some really good ones, or even a bit more than that. So,
Yeah. Can you imagine how much that would cost if you wanted to put
well,
the
for
wall in
what is
here?
it, a 2.4 meter long by 1.2 wide metal bench, it's about $500. So 2.4 meters. So this greenhouse here is 40 meters long, so that's going to be a very expensive outlay. So that's why, to try and save a fair bit of money, we would just go the Besser blocks and pallets. So each to their own, I suppose, but it's always nice to save some money. And yeah, so yeah, you can use the sleepers. Even I've seen people use like old metal panels, like from fences.
Yeah, doors. I've seen.
Yeah, you can use doors. There's all sorts of different things that you can use there. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great week, and click the like and subscribe if you haven't, and the little notification button.
It's too late. People are gone by now. No one's listening to us anymore.
Probably. Anyway, see you. Have a good week.
I'm just going to scroll over here before we go.